Yeah.
Going.
I know I'm going. I just needed to know what about the super chat. Y'all give me...
I've already set up. You're live.
Huh? No, I know, but I need to be able to see the chat.
Right there.
Uh-huh. And I just did the trans. Have you ever known me to say hello? Good morning. Just did. I still need to print off my notes because again, this week is out to get me with stuff to do. So, just a moment, let's print off this week's planets. Good morning, good morning. It's everyone doing? Waiting on this tab to load right now. Once I get this going and I get it printed, we can talk about what we're going to work on today. Sorry for the slight delay. It was another one of those. I have time. I'll get up at 8 again and start doing. I got up at 7:30. promise I tried to do this correct. Let's see what we got here. Alright, today we have the... Yep, that looks right. What's this chart? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're working on just a few more things. Alright. Now we're moving. You probably hear the printer about to go off in the background. Ready, please? There we go. Perfect. All right. Let's see what we got here. This lag's wicked. Am I up now? Okay. Up and running. That just bought me a little extra time anyway to get my notes together. Okay. So, good morning, buen dia. We got a busy week ahead of us again. We thought last week was busy. Well. So, a little cheat sheet out and ready. I didn't do the big one again this week. Still learning how this printer works. Minecraft music? I don't know. It's whatever it's whatever Miss May put on. Good morning, Mary.
It should be the famous favorite.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's royalty-free Halloween ambient music because I keep forgetting that I need to find my own background music for stuff. So today, once we're done talking about stars and what have you, I have been painting a little watercolor for a friend of mine that I reconnected with who is also a musician, and he's been working on putting out an album, and so we have this little friend that I've been working on right here. And I'm gonna work on some more stuff. I've got to start adding like the background and the sky and outlining some of this and giving some more of the detail to the plants and stuff. So that will be today's project. Thank you, dear. How is everybody? How is the morning going? Anything good? I need some hot goss if y'all got any for me. Let's see. There we go. This'll work. How was the, just got a new plant, so very fitting. What kind of plant you get? Let's talk plants. I know that Mary likes plants too. I'll take a minute and we'll talk about plants before we start talking about full moons. Was stuck to private when I started. Ah, one of those. I didn't know the name of it. I had one of those plants, I believe, when I was doing my study abroad. A long, long time ago. Very nice. Did you get one with like the white insides or like the pinker insides? Which color did we go for? I don't have any major theory points to ask about like what we think about vampire birth charts today. I'll have to think about something for next week. We'll just talk about plants instead. No, I know today's about the new moon, or the full moon, but we had a...
Oh, very good.
We had a fun little topic to talk about in the middle of everything. I don't really have that so much today, so I guess today's plants. Which is fine. I do enjoy a plant. Yeah, how's everybody hanging on after last week? Because last week up in the big sky was a little bit chaotic, and at least in my life it was extremely all over the place. I felt that pressure cooker pretty big. I felt that pressure cooker for a few days after. All three, we'll see if they survive. Fingers crossed. It's a little early in the season, isn't it? With all the snow going on and such. I bet you can do it though. I'm not that worried. Do you do a lot with plants then? Or is this just a one-off that you're just trying out? Hi! Hello, hello, welcome in. We're about to start talking about the stars for the week.
Did Mary support and did not get the thing?
Did
Mary put in a donation and not get rewarded?
What? Hello? I've been surfing the chaos wave pretty well, but I don't want to jinx it. No, I don't want to jinx that for you either. What did we got a donation? Wow, we've got to update your bar. Now it's going to be February groceries.
There we go.
I still don't know how much it was though.
Oh, wait, no? The bot just didn't grab it.
The bot just didn't grab it, I guess.
Okay, it might have been while we were still private.
Maybe. I don't think so.
No?
It said on screen I gave a head pat. Okay, that's fine. Maybe you just don't have it set up to head pat me.
No, it said the head pat came on screen?
Today is full moon day. We're going to be talking about
Today
the
is full moon day. I'm going to do it anyway.
Sorry, we're going through some background work, so bear with me just a minute. Today is a full moon day. It is the opener for the eclipse season, which will be going from today until March 19th. We're going to be talking about that a lot today, actually. There's a couple of really big points that took up all of my morning getting my notes together stuff, and there's a couple of smaller transits that are still pretty impactful this week that I just have not gotten to yet. So we're gonna wing those together. No head pats here, folks.
Unacceptable. Completely unacceptable to not get head pats.
That's Miss May in the background. One moment. Here we go. About to happen. I'm getting ready. Oh.
You just get to live with that there now.
I don't want it for forever.
Well, then deal with it later when you feel like you're done getting head.
I don't know how to turn it off. I know. What do I do?
Are you done with it?
Yes.
So you click on it.
Uh-huh.
We're teaching to.
Oh, we're learning. It's a teaching day.
Uh-huh. There you go.
There we go. Got it.
It's a teaching moment. Thank you for the teaching moment, Mary.
Got the teaching moment. Okay. And I didn't necessarily, okay, here we go. The chaos there was for me too, even in the small ways. I love it. Yep, it's a fun little animation. For Miss Maze, it goes off automatically. For mine, it apparently needed some help, but we had a teaching moment. I learned how to turn it off. But yeah, today's a full moon. It's the start of the eclipse season. Big chaos. Even if you didn't necessarily feel it directly, you might have like seen it happening around everything. Eternal headpat. But then you'd make the cat go bald, and he's already got spots showing up that I need to repatch, so... Yes, so full moon. I believe it is at 5:08 this evening Eastern US time. And I believe for UTC that is 10:08. Obviously with full moons you feel them a little bit before and a little bit after, so it won't be like if you want to do anything like moon water or anything magical like that, if that's your thing, then you've still got time if you happen to be busy this evening. But yeah, big full moon this weekend. This whole month feels a little like planting, like, so if last month was about making decisions and like choosing the path or the timeline or the whatever the heck you want to talk about it being, for moving forward, it was settling, what was it? I wrote January was settling on your decision after 2025's getting presented with all of your options and laying out your groundwork and plans. So I remember we had that new moon a few weeks back. Obviously you have to have a new moon before you can have a full moon, and that was I called it the last call at the bar. Like, you can still go home and make your drinks, but this is like the last easy time to like try to will something into existence, to try to manifest something, to try to get things going while things were still relatively calm. That was the last time that Neptune was in Pisces. Uranus is still in Taurus right now, but things were kind of quiet relative to what they're about to be, and it was a good time to set intentions and stuff before the proverbial earthquake. It's not that you can't have another drink after the last call, but there's a lot more steps involved, and that was my metaphor. So we settled on our decision. All of 2025 we were like presented with our options basically, and then this month is a bit of like seed planting. In April we had a big, like, I called it a megastellium in my notes. We hit that big megastellium in April, and then that's when the ball like really gets rolling, but it's gonna just be like a buildup of what's already been going on. Now, this applies to the private and the collective, the personal and the collective, so like there's a lot of tension around that point in the astrology community about what that necessarily means for the collective, but yeah, it's a long story, but basically planets, the outer planets, are not where they were when other unfortunate things happened, so it could be rough, but maybe things, obviously it's history rhymes, right? History rhymes. It doesn't inherently repeat. So that's the big thing that I've been trying to like hang on to. So he was like, oh, the last time Neptune was in Aries was in the Civil War. It's, yeah, but what were the other planets doing at that time too? So things are spooky, and Sin and I were talking a little bit earlier about how like we don't like having a vague roadmap. We want, like, what is it that I said? I want my I wish my astrology could be, oh, Neptune is going conjunct into Aries on February 20th, and this means that Lil Lin will do X, Y, Z, right? And that's not how it works. All I get is Neptune is going conjunct into Aries, and this is like the themes around it. Great. So what does that mean for me, right? So it's a little bit frustrating, but yeah, history repeats. It rhymes, it doesn't repeat. Time is a flat circle, things are repetitive, but the outer planets are supporting each other better than they could be otherwise, and I am hopeful that things might not be as cataclysmic as some people expect. But on a personal level, a lot of these are really interesting transits. But we do have that full moon today. It's in Leo. It's at 13 degrees. It's not there yet. I just printed it for right now. But let me see if I can show you without it getting too blurry. He's right here at 7 degrees right now. He'll scoot over to 13 before he goes completely full. And the big thing to note right here is that he is opposing the mega stellium that is currently over here in Aquarius. So we have the king as the Leo archetype, I call it the one with the main character syndrome, versus the people, the social justice warriors of the zodiac. I am saying that affectionately. And then we have the heart versus the head, right? Aquarius is a very intellectual sign. We've been very intellectually dominated lately. Like, we've been thinking about a lot of things. We've been intellectualizing our feelings. We've been trying to come up with concrete plans for things. We've been, doing things like that. And now it's time to say, okay, this is all great, but what does your heart want, right? Now we had a new moon in Leo back in July on the 24th. If you keep a journal, if you keep up with things like that, if you have photographs or anything like that, can you remember what was going on around that time? Right? Because this is like the new moons usher in something. So we just had that new moon in Capricorn. We'll have the full moon in Capricorn later on this year. That is like the culmination of what we set rolling then. We had the new moon in Leo back in July. And now this is the culmination point of that full moon, right? So was there around the 24th, give or take a few days, just kind of in that window, was there a point where you just had this thought and you couldn't quite let it go, and it has just heckled you since then, right? It has just been unrelenting. Huh? June. Nope, July. Sorry, I lied to you. Yeah, in July. So we had this new moon in Leo around July 24th, and that put a thought into your head, right? And I am speaking extremely from the heart right now. It put a thought in my head that proceeded to eat me alive. And this full moon today is kind of the culmination point of that. It's stuff that I've been thinking about for a long time, but there was a specific I can't do this about something in my personal life. I can't do this anymore. And I thought maybe I could push it for one more year. I'm not going to get the opportunity. And that's happening right now, at the culmination point of this thought of I can't do this anymore. For those of y'all who know us, Lady Lapine and I are fine. That's nothing to do with that. But yeah, something personal, and I just planted a thought back around that time. There was an eclipse season like right around that time, right after that time, that really like set it in, and now you're seeing the culmination point of that. So think about that time as best as you can, and think if there's any kind of like pivot point around then that you had. And if not, that's fine. Like, if you can't remember, if you can't keep up, it's fine. But this full moon is going to talk about something, like, make you look at it. It is putting a... Leo is the main character, but it is also the spotlight. This is a full moon. You can think about, you know, the spotlight in your heart is pointing directly at all of these personal planets right here, right? It is putting a big spotlight on the inner workings of a person, right? But, it might make you confront something that you haven't wanted to look at. If this is a king and these are his subjects, this king might be a little bit tyrannical, right? You might have a grip on something that you don't. You might be looking for stability that is not meant for you. You might be looking to force something that is not meant to continue. You might be telling yourself that you need to do something this way for the greater good. And you might be like having a vice grip, like, on your self-control. Whatever this is the king. He is kind of a little bit tyrannical in this aspect. And the people here are saying, no, you need to abdicate. We need to do this thing that you need to do. So basically, this tyrannical king will step down and you will be better emboldened to embrace whatever it is that has hit that culmination, right? Like, you are confronting something you want to face. What does that tyrannical king need to abdicate so that the people can take over and lead? We can have an astrological social revolution. Your camera roll just shows you doing jigsaw puzzles at that time. Hard to say what I was thinking. Yeah, that's fair. Was there any good jigsaw puzzles? Like did you finish a really cool one? So, this moon is for setting the stage for basically all of February and all of eclipse season. Because all of February, we have some really major transits happening. We have eclipse season starting today, and eclipses are all about letting go of things that don't serve you anymore, shedding, choosing the right timeline for you, kind of, you know, like pick your lane, stick to it, which is kind of just this whole theme this year. And it's asking you things like, what have you been tolerating that's for the best that you can't tolerate anymore? What have you been wanting to do that you've been ignoring, again, to keep the peace or be for the best? What have you been saying that you, or what haven't you been saying that you and everybody else already knows? Right. Now, it's in Leo. There's a lot of when I was pretty much done, it turned out that one piece was missing. Ooh-wee. That's a little... God, okay, Sin. Sure. Did you find that one piece, or should you go looking for that one piece possibly today? There's a lot of creativity. It's in Leo. There's a lot of 5th and 11th house aspects here, right? So creativity is the 5th house. It's what you make. It is what you give to the world. It's what you create. Things like that. Obviously, creativity is like art. It could be, honestly, children. It can be, you know, just the things that you present to the world. And then the 11th house is the, as Sin has put it once, Sin put it once a few weeks back, the 11th house is the LinkedIn of the astrological chart. It's the community that you build. It's the people that you don't necessarily interact with closely, but the people that you know, like, tertiarily. The puzzles were used, so it probably went missing before I got my hands on it. Oh man. So what you need to do, Son, is you need to put the puzzle back together if it isn't put back together, and you just need to, like, paint it in. You know what needs to go there. So let's carry this metaphor out. You know what spot that is. You know what needs to go there. So now, your job, metaphorically, is to go in and draw in that missing piece. You know what it needs to be. It's time to stop. It's time to stop letting it just be empty, right? Now, this is a metaphor, but you don't literally have to go in and redraw that piece. Hi, welcome in, welcome in. We're talking about the full moon today. We don't have tarot today, that's on Monday and Fridays, but you're welcome to come hang out. Once we've talked about the week, we usually take some time to chat a little bit, and I'm working on this art piece. Got a little bit more to fill in here, and I will be doing that here shortly. Good to see you. How are you doing? So yeah, Leo full moon, you're having to confront something you haven't wanted to face. You've been ignoring it. There's a lot of creativity to it. So there's a chance to shine. Basically, from the Leo aspect, it's what will you do that you don't mind if people don't see you doing it, right? Like something dance if no one's watching, or dance like no one's watching. Well, dance, and if someone's watching, great. If someone's not watching, great. You're dancing, you're expressing yourself, you're being creative. This moon has a lot of creative elements to it, but it's also asking, will you do the thing even if no one is watching? Because again, Leo is the main character, or like has main character syndrome of the chart. Ruled by the sun, likes to be seen, very big, visible personality. Will you do the thing that you need to do, even if no one's looking at you right away? Or, what will you do? What are you willing to do, even if people are watching? Right? Like, what are you willing to push through and do, even if you don't immediately get credit for it? And what are you willing to do, even if it might be a little bit cringe? Remember, cringe is dead. So, what does it say? My notes say you can't ignore you to keep everyone else comfortable around you. Yeah. You can't ignore you anymore to keep everyone else comfortable. Stop pretending to be detached. Stop downplaying your feelings. You need to be authentic. You need to be integral. And you also need to stop underestimating yourself. Which part which part is your mantra? Which part are we being goofy about now? Where's the joke, Sen? Now, all of this said, we have main character syndrome and social justice warrior, right? These two, we have the head and the heart. Obviously, this axis, the shadowier sides can include things like, you know, there's a lot of emotions going on right now with the heart. But we've been trying to intellectualize it. We've been trying to compartmentalize things. We need to acknowledge this, but we also need to acknowledge this without exploding. We need to just kind of sit with it and feel it and process it and actually chew on it, rather than just trying to rationalize it away or setting it on fire. Like, we need to find the happy balance with that. With everything going on in the world, folks can be, and personally, folks can be feeling pretty emotional. This moon is asking you to stay present with it. Don't explode, and don't compartmentalize. Collectively and personally, since this is the affectionate social justice warrior, Aquarius can morality police a little bit too much, and Leo can feel, as the main character syndrome aspect of astrology, Leo can feel compelled to overperform and say things that they don't inherently mean. If no one could see or know about today, would I still want to live it this way? I like that. That's good. So that's the full moon today. It's really good for like just sitting there and acknowledging whatever it is, like truly sitting with whatever it is that you've had sitting with you basically since the end of July. Or maybe before. There's a lot of things factoring into it, but yes, so this is the opening to eclipse season. Eclipse season starts now. at this full moon, and it will go until the 19th of March, which is it's a new moon of some sort. I can't remember where it is right now. But it has to go through the full moon cycles around both eclipses. So we're starting at the full moon and we finish at a new moon. There's a lot going on this week. It's all hitting the same note. Accept what you already know. Stop ignoring it. Face up. That is this week. That is this year. It is the it is the Shia LaBeouf just do it gif or YouTube video, whichever one you want to look at first. He's behind the green screen. He's flexing real hard. Just do it. That's the vibe that I've been getting. Last week there was a lot of do it scared. This week there's a lot of just accept it, just face it. This is what you know to be true. This is what you need to do. Eclipse season is that already by itself, but the axes that it's happening on just kind of make it more apparent. The reminder, did you pick your lane back in January? Which lane did you pick? Things about it should start coming a little more into focus, like with Neptune here being in Aries without Saturn yet. So Neptune's still ahead and Saturn's coming and will overtake. So the way that I am interpreting that is that right now when you're picking your lane, it's still a little bit dreamy, it's still a little bit hazy, you don't quite have the full vision, but you kind of know where you're going, and you know that whatever it is, something's got to give, and you need to ultimately work towards wherever it is you're going, even if you can't quite see it. So for the next couple of weeks still, we're in a bit of a trust fall phase. I suck at trust falls. This is awful. I hate it. But we're in a bit of a trust fall phase. Now when Saturn overtakes, goes conjunct and then overtakes Neptune here, I'm thinking we'll start seeing some more of the scaffolding. We'll be able to see like actual logical steps we can take. We can see the directions. But right now what it feels like with eclipse season is a bit, I realized I had a bit of an on the nose metaphor because from just last night I was making dinner and I knew what I wanted to make. I had a picture and I had a list of ingredients. But I did not have a list of the complete ingredients, and I did not have instructions. So I ended up having to reverse engineer it to make this meal. I cook a lot, so it wasn't particularly scary. I was comfortable in what I was doing, but it was a little bit of running blind for a while. And it ended up working out, right? But there was a lot of me looking at this list, and then looking at the picture. And the picture didn't have some of it. And then the list didn't have some of the stuff that was on the picture. And I just kind of went like, well, this might be a little confusing. It was very confusing. But I know enough, and I have the tools that I need, and I can do it, right? And that's kind of how it feels right now, just kind of across the board, right? So, take that metaphor, apply it to wherever it is that you've been kind of struggling blind in, and like you know what you need to do, right? You know what you need to do. You've got the picture, you know where you want to go. And you've got a list of ingredients. You know what skills you need to use to get to this picture. You know what you need to add, what you need to take out. Except there's a few parts that are question marks, and also there's no directions. But I think if this is something that you've really been sitting with for a long time, right, you kind of... It's frustrating, but you kind of know where to go, right? You kind of know what to do. You kind of have to improvise at a few spots, but if you react calmly and logically and like feel the frustration, let it run through, and then just keep going anyway, it should work out, right? That's kind of what the next couple of weeks feel like, at least until Saturn comes in and can start kind of giving us some kind of direction, right? It was a really good dinner. I'm glad I did it. And I think that's kind of the whole feeling of 2026, right? Just kind of across the board. It's a really good idea. I need to do it. parts are frustrating. There are things missing that I can kind of figure out, and there are some things missing that I'm like, well, maybe I don't want that. And then you just kind of reverse engineer it. Right? So, for me, this has been relating really hard. Things are leaving Pisces, right? This has been resonating really hard. Things like my 10th house, because Pisces is my 10th house. And it's going over into my 11th house. Excuse me. And then this full moon is in my 3rd, and that's communication and such, which is it has a lot to do with the things that I know that I need to do. So, take that metaphor. It was a little bit, again, like, I don't know, the universe has been a little bit on the nose, maybe because nobody's been really listening, but there's been a lot of situations I've, like, looked at and been like, well, irony's dead, or, well, if I wrote that in a book, people wouldn't take me seriously. And that dinner last night felt like one of those things, relating to this greater eclipse season, this new moon in particular, the shift of Neptune and Saturn into Aries, like all of it kind of across the board. You might not know everything, it's a bit of a trust fall, but you kind of, you know enough to be able to figure it out. Now, yeah, so let's just see. It says, I wrote my notes, you should be able to start seeing things more clearly now, like that lane that you picked in particular back last month. But until Saturn is in Aries later this month, it may still feel a little bit trust-fally, and you may still be seeing a few alternate illusory routes of like, maybe I could do it this way, maybe I could do it this way, maybe I could do something different. But at this point, Neptune is in Aries. I feel like you know it's an illusion, right? Like, you know which path you need to take, or if you don't, you should soon. It is an extremely absurd timeline, yes. This timeline is very heavy-handed. So, eclipse seasons, generally speaking, are turning points. This full moon by itself feels like... I feel like the new moon was the main turning point. The new moon in Capricorn a few weeks ago. But this moon still feels like something of its own, like a pivot, right? It is I have to, the new moon was, this is what I want. And then this full moon is staring it dead in the face. It is not just saying what you want, it is looking at it. It is there and you know where you need to go. So, you just can't really keep acting anymore, right? So, the lunar eclipse is coming up in the middle of this season. Or not the lunar eclipse, obviously, it's the middle of it. It's eclipse season, there's a lunar eclipse. But the lunar new year, is on the 17th. In the middle of an eclipse season, we are going from whatever that wood snake is to the fire horse. Everybody keeps talking about it. The wood snake was shedding, the fire horses go. You have shed, it's a fresh start, go. Which still seems also apt with everything moving into Aries as well later on. Eclipse seasons are a little bit like the fast forward buttons in astrology, don't forget, so things may happen fast. You may need to react quickly. But if you listen to what you know to be true from your heart, if you stop compartmentalizing it, you should be able to manage it fine. Eclipse seasons, also again carrying on with this wood snake into fire horse metaphor, right, are a little bit like a sugar scrub in the bath. They scrub off what you don't need anymore to help you make room to move towards what you need to do. So that is just today and also the next handful of weeks. We can keep going, but we can take a second here. If you hear a child crying in the background, don't worry, that's just my internal monologue. What do you think? Any thoughts, questions, concerns? Let's talk about it for a little bit before I keep going. Or we can talk about plants some more, that's fine too. I'm totally fine with talking about plants. I have to think of more deep philosophical thoughts about vampires for next week. How are we feeling? Nothing? So this one feels like a lot to me. And we just got out of a pressure cooker. How are you going to plan around all of that absurdity? You've kind of already planned. The thing about it is like you've already got your roadmap, right? Like, we know what's coming. We made our decision theoretically back last month. Now things are going to start coming at us fast, but we know where we're working towards, right? Or if you don't know what you're working towards yet, oops. It's not that you can't kind of just wing it, but it helps, right? Like, you have the picture, right? If we're looking at yesterday's dinner, right? You have the picture of what you want to make, and you kind of know what you need to do. So you go around with all of this absurdity, you hit it, and you basically look at your options and see which options carries you further down that lane that you picked, right? You've kind of already made the plan. Now that said, like, there's opportunities to make plans if you haven't yet decided, right? So yes, the bar last call was the Capricorn new moon, but again, you might need to go pick up your own liquor. You can still make the drink at home. So was simply making a plan last month enough? You have to work towards it, right? Like, you certainly have to still make an effort towards that plan. But when you are presented with challenges, now that you have that plan, you can see it and you see your challenges and you go, okay, which path do I take related to this challenge that helps me with this plan, right? That's kind of how I'm seeing it. So what, in all of these choices, which ones further what I already have planned for myself, right? What choice supports me in all of my chaotic options? We have the full solar eclipse, or not full, it's a solar eclipse in Aquarius that is on, what is it? Yeah, the new moon solar eclipse is in Aquarius on the 17th, and then later on the lunar eclipse is in Virgo. You exist! Welcome, welcome! We just talked about the chaos that is the new moon creeping into your star sign. Or not your star sign, your sun sign in particular. It's happening at 13 degrees of Leo. Obviously, the fixed signs are going to be a little more impacted than others, or if you have anything that happens to be around that 13 degree mark. But it's still hitting everybody's heart versus head kind of moment, right? Like, all of these signs in Aquarius are like a lot of the personal planets in Pluto. You can look at it as your head, and then Leo is your heart down here. So it's a bit of a mess, but we were a little bit better prepared since we've been looking at it since Capricorn, and I had a very relevant dinner making experience with it last night that kind of, I feel like, sums up this eclipse season and this year fairly well. So, alright, so we have eclipse season. We're going to be talking about this a lot. It just starts today. It goes on until March 19th. This is not the only time you will hear me mention it then. It's the fast forward. Things are going to come at you fast, but if you if you took the picture of what you wanted the year to look like, you should be able to make choices pretty well that lead you to that decision, lead you to that place. So, on Tuesday, Monday's a little bit quiet, I believe. Obviously, the moon be doing things because that's what she does. But on Tuesday, Uranus is going direct in Taurus for the last time. He's been in retrograde for a good minute now. He's going direct in Taurus at 27 degrees. He will be moving into Gemini in April. This is closing out a cycle that began in 2018. So we think about the themes of Taurus and the themes of whatever house Taurus happens to be ruling in your chart. You can think about working on the foundations of lives. It's Taurus, it's Venus ruled, so values, finances, and stabilities. She's known as the Great Awakener. She's pretty good at table flipping things and making a mess, but it is a mess that you see coming. I had some sleep as well. Wow, okay, guys, you need to share that, because I haven't been sleeping for like the last 2 nights.
I didn't sleep last night.
Well, both of our Doji and Sin got some sleep.
Oh, good.
I'm sure they deserved it, but also they need to share. I'm so tired. Anyway, so the Great Awakener on the 3rd, Uranus is going direct in Taurus for the last time at 27 degrees. This is closing out a cycle that began in 2018. My favorite astrologer says that yes, Uranus brings chaos, but she also shows you like breadcrumbs of what she's about to table flip. And yeah, that's true. That's true. So she's been in Taurus in fall, but Taurus is responsible for things like values, finances, and stabilities. And Uranus has been showing us, quote, the fragility of the things we originally thought were stable. So we thought that stable was external, and it turns out that she's been trying to teach us no, stability is internal. Stability, I wrote here, comes from you being scrappy, resourceful, and resilient. This one's gonna make Lady Laugh Pine laugh from across the room with all the themes in Taurus. Uranus has been trying to teach us since 2018 to let go of scarcity mindset.
Aha!
I am very bad about scarcity mindset, so yeah, that one was in 2018 was a pretty pivotal year for things for me for that. And we have been working on building new foundations. Your secret is just not getting out of bed when you feel you are rested. You aren't. Your body is still tired. Sleep for 10 hours. It's easier to do on the weekend. Yeah, I get too itchy. I have to move after a while. But I also do... I hate waking up because there's too much to do first thing in the morning. Like, everybody's like, oh, you just get ready in the morning, but my brain always compartmentalizes it as, oh, I have to take my medicine, I have to brush my teeth, I have to take a shower, I have to feed the cat, I have to make it, like, so just getting ready in the morning for me is like 20 different things, and that's the first thing I think of when I get up in the morning. And so I just lay there for a while and just put it off, and I put it off, and I keep, as each minute passes that I put it off, I feel grosser and grosser and grosser. So me and mornings have a complicated relationship. Now, when I just wake up and I am rested, like, that happens maybe twice a year. When I just wake up and I am rested, it's great. Like, if I just genuinely wake up and I'm ready to go. But, boy, most mornings. So with Uranus going direct at 27 degrees, a lot of sleep is a necessity. Well, I mean, your username literally means sleep in Polish, right? The most impacted signs for this direct movement are any planets or angles that are in the late degrees of the fixed signs. So we're heavy on the fixed signs this week. That's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. This can apply to, you know, sun, moon, rising, but this can also apply to the personal planets too, like so Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Those are your personal planets. My Mercury happens to be at 27 degrees in Leo. So theoretically, it should be, it's gonna be squaring off my natal Mercury for a while. So, exciting. So, with Uranus being the Great Awakener, the Great Table Flipper, she will tell you before she flips the table what she's flipping the table about, but she still flips the table. She's a little bit chaotic. She is the higher octave of Mercury, and Mercury is already MSG of the zodiac, like the MSG of the planets. So it's a heavy, flavor-enhancing, bold. And then she comes in with like communication, and then she comes in with like chaos and technology and stuff. So we've had all of these epiphanies since July of last year, essentially, right? It's time to act on them around Tuesday. You might be feeling it now, but you act on them around Tuesday. You get the momentum rolling, and you start going towards whatever that future is, whatever that path you've chosen, whatever that picture of the recipe that you desperately want to eat is. You start working towards it, right? Yeah, and then my little note here says, plays well with the eclipse season this year, huh? So, yeah, Uranus is just kind of rolling with it and just kind of pushing that get on with it narrative. Now, she's at 27 degrees. It may feel a little more erratic because when planets are at like the very beginning. So let's look at our little handy dandy chart here, right? Let me get it to work with the camera. So when things are at the very beginning of a sign and at the very end of a sign, planets, they can get a little bit more erratic, right? Because here you have a sense of urgency to kind of get the ball rolling. So Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries, it's like it's time. Like we need to act on our dreams, we need to act on our goals. Now, Uranus going direct here at the end of Taurus is a little bit more of a closure of a, oh crap, we still have all of these loose ends to tie up. We still need to finish all of this, right? We need to finish what we started. So the very start and the very end of a sign can feel a little more chaotic than like once they hit like 5 to 25 degrees of the planet. Then it's like, we'll work towards our thing, we've got time, we can work on it, take baby steps, or steps however we see appropriate. And then yeah, at the start it's like that, it's go time, and then at the end it's time to finish. So yeah, it says a lot opens at the start of a cycle, and then it closes at the end of. Alright, let's see what else we have. We have the 5th. We have Mercury squaring Uranus. This is where I kind of started. We had a lot of big things going on, so this is kind of where I was like, well, I can't really focus too heavy on this, but on the 5th, we've got Mercury squaring Uranus for a couple of days. Remember, Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, where Mercury is just kind of general communication and things of that ilk, and then like, you know, Mercury's a little bit of the trickster, you know, so he like might pull little jokes and stuff, and then Uranus comes in and is like, cool, let's talk about technology and how we use it for communication, and also just straight up chaos. So if they're squaring, you have to, my note says, navigate between a need for communication and a need for revolution. I didn't quite have time to unpack it the way that I wanted to, but take that as you will. I will think about it some more too between now and when I post my notes on our Discord. But that is happening on Thursday. Now on Friday, Mercury goes into Pisces, and it will stay there until April 14th. Mercury kind of struggles in Pisces. It is the balance of logic and feelings, with Mercury being a very intellectual air sign and Pisces being the more emotional water sign. Nothing's ever bad, right? You just might have thoughts might be a little more poetic and less literal, right? Like, so he's not really happy there. There's a hard time feeling comfortable sticking to plans and expectations, right? You are going to be tempted to react more emotionally to things. So if you have, like, if we had that straight directions on how to prepare this dinner, we would want to go a little bit off the cuff. Maybe we think it needs more garlic or it needs more salt or something like that, and we'd be tempted to add it. So, speak from the heart instead of the mind. Communication can feel more poetic, more artistic, more improvised, less planned, less meticulous, less logical. And then it's also kind of asking to, again, we're just still going with this theme of like asking to let go of our vice grip on planning things, just kind of let life unfold, just be willing to improvise a little bit, to notice that maybe this thing is missing and maybe I should add it. Maybe this thing doesn't need added. Maybe I don't actually want this. I do want this, you know, like, and you have your picture and you're looking at it and you're thinking about it and you've got the little like half-filled ingredient list and you're like, cool. What feels right to add? What feels right to skip? Just kind of let things unfold. Things will happen. What can you do to... It will feel fast. It's happening partially in the eclipse season. What can you choose that helps you get towards that final picture? Now with Mercury struggling a little bit in Pisces, practical things like actual honest to God planning and doing things that actually honest to goodness need done may require a little bit more attention and care, especially since Mercury is going retrograde later in the month. But you will feel more creative. You will feel more poetic. You will feel more inclined to improvise and follow your heart. A note here that I added is not everything needs explained. It's very counterintuitive to my Mercury dominant self, but theoretically, I understand. Not everything needs explained. On the 8th, which is next Sunday, so we can talk about it a little bit more then. And this is where I just straight up don't have any notes because I got so distracted with the full moon and eclipse season starting, is that Venus will be squaring off with Uranus. Venus is up here in Aquarius. Uranus is down here. We're almost at this kind of a square. Uranus is at 27 degrees, Venus is at 20 degrees, or 18 degrees. It'll be going for a while because Uranus goes kind of slowly, and Venus is one of the faster planets, but not, you know, like Mercury or anything, or the moon. So you might be feeling it for a couple of days around it. Chaos, uprooting, technology, love, romance, resources, abundance. Especially since Taurus is Venus ruled, I wonder what it might do. I need to do some more research. I will do that research and I will bring it to us on Sunday. If there's anything, if it's significant, I will make a post about it beforehand in the Discord. As a warning, we're at the start of the month. This month is very chaotic. We have all of that stuff going on, all of these choices that are being presented, all of this letting go of what doesn't serve. The 17th is so busy. I'm just going to warn ahead of time. We'll talk about it more later, obviously, but on the 13th, Saturn is going into Aries, and we'll be at 0 degrees. They go conjunct on the 20th, but you will feel that conjunction build up. You may already be feeling it a little bit. But on the 17th, you will definitely be feeling that conjunction build up. The 17th is the Lunar New Year. It is the new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. And I knew, like, a new moon, obviously, that marks the Lunar New Year, but still just a solar eclipse on top of it. And then The conjunction is on the 20th. Another note that I have is that the 17th is Mardi Gras, but that's just for me mostly. So get ready. There's going to be a lot of big pivotal changes. Have your picture, know what you're working towards. Have your mostly inclusive ingredient list, and be willing to add or remove ingredients as you need to. It should only be a couple if you have that picture set, but just be willing to improvise a little bit as it is required to work towards that greater goal. So that's kind of this week. And honestly, kind of the whole month. Got a lot to talk about as we keep going, and I'm around to help as we need it. We can take a minute and we can talk about plants, and we can talk about painting, or what we're gonna do to get ready for this new moon, or full moon, or how we're feeling about things, or what's going on in life. How did it go with that pressure cooker last week? We already talked about how it was tough. Happy to listen, happy to chat. And obviously this whole week the moon do be doing things, but salaries are disgusting. Yep. There's also a big economic review happening right around then, like globally. There's a joke that goes around that says, millionaires keep up with the markets and then billionaires keep up with astrology. But just like the timing of everything, there's some big economic thing happening right around between like the 17th and the 20th. I can't remember which one it is, but it's just like, did you guys actually look at a map? Is this not a joke? Do you actually keep up with this? But yeah. Salaries are discussed around then. Well, stand your ground. Good luck. Let us know how it goes. Yeah, I don't even know. Ugh. That's a mess. But hopefully it works out and you know what you need to do. So. What else we got? Where's Leo in everybody's chart? I know it's your son, Doji, but like, is there anything else notable? Still waiting for HR. Always fun. HR's never in a rush. I asked for something like 6 months ago that I was still waiting on that ended up not panning out. But I asked for it like well in advance and it just never came. Trying not to be frustrated. It's hard though. Yeah. And there's been a lot of that kind of too, right? Just kind of let go and go with the flow and let it be, and it'll happen when it does. Especially now that I've gotten like kind of used to dealing with astrological charts and stuff. It's kind of nice to just kind of be like, oh well, this makes sense because of this, that, and the other, and this is happening. And I think I have your star chart somewhere around there. I can look at it later if you want to, but I wrote it down when you gave us the information a while ago. But I'd be curious to see where it hits. Like, I know that Leo's your son. Does qualify as a billionaire worse than... you can pay me like it's one. How's that? Maybe it's more like a billionaire study group, since I'm not super duper like oh, this means this and that means that without, like, having to do a bunch of research beforehand and stuff. I'm, like, trying to get, like, a bit of a consensus on everything based off of what I hear. Other people talking about. Billionaire study group. That's very sweet. But I will say though, it has been very useful to like get a little more into this kind of stuff just for my own personal anxiety of like, well, I would love to have a better idea of what's going on, but I also know that it kind of means whatever might, you know, like, this should ultimately lead me to this kind of an epiphany and something, 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 and it's been, like, pretty well working out, like... Usually a scam set. Well, like I said, I just said it's a billionaire study group. You don't have to pay me like it, it's a study group. We're all studying together, right? But it's just been kind of wild because all of this sort of stuff that would like drive me into a panicking state. And just because I'm such a control freak by nature, like, I've seen it coming, and it's been really nice to not just like sit there and wonder and worry and stuff and be like, oh well, this is probably going to happen, and this is this might happen. I don't know quite exactly like crystal ball wise what this is going to do, but based off of the current situation and what parts of my chart it's lining up, it might be something related to this. And like, was this week news that I wanted to hear? No, but I kind of like, it's like, it gives me, I can see the train wreck coming instead of just sitting there and dreading it, and it's been really useful for that. And with it, I can also, like, see, like, oh, maybe it won't be the end of the world, because I can see that this thing that is complicating my life might be resolving around this time, so if I can just hang on, if I can just do this thing, then maybe it won't be so bad. Or it will be tough for a minute, but it won't stay. And this is theoretically what I will be learning from it. I've been a lot calmer about things since I've been keeping up with it. That's, I think, what I'm trying to say. Like, genuinely keeping up with it, not just as a super hobby. Before, I'm like, obviously still now to an extent, I'm a bit of a worrywart by nature. So it's been nice to just be like, well, that makes sense. Instead of, oh my god, what am I gonna do? No. What's your painful? Anybody got any, like, painful, the irony could not be, like, the messaging could not be clearer kind of thing? Like my dinner last night? Has anybody got anything like that? I know Sen sent me their picture of the puzzle with one piece missing. Let's talk about metaphors. Like, what's gotten you? Made you kind of go, huh? Well, the poetry writes itself. Whatever that text post is about the, glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling being painted over. I just kind of gotta sit and go, well, yeah, that makes sense. Given what I know. No, that's fine.
Do you have anything that was a really heavy-handed, like, life metaphor happen to you? Like me with, yeah, no, or whatever, just something that sticks out.
Me and dinner last night.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know if it counts, but I had a middle school teacher assign a project where we had to describe and budget and our life when we back 30.
Mm-hmm.
And like down to like where you live, where you work, what your car is, like what your grocery budget is.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I looked up and I realized that I was like 80% there.
Yeah, I think I remember that day.
Like I had said I was going to work at a specific building and eat lunch on the roof. And I remember realizing it because I was eating lunch on the 6th floor in the cafeteria, and I looked, and the building that I said I was going to be working at was like 4 blocks away.
Nice.
And I was eating on the roof, and I was like living where I thought I would, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
That was. I don't know if that's a metaphor. That's more just like I was kind of good at manifesting as a 10-year-old.
I think most 10-year-olds are pretty solid at manifesting.
I had a plan and I stuck to it.
Yeah. Collector's edition for Code Vein 2 came out, but the box was in bad condition. The contents were fine, but the experience kind of ruined. Yeah, so you got this thing and it just kind of like warned you, oh, this is gonna be bad. Might be fine inside, it means that nothing gets to you. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, there was definitely something to and Sid's puzzle thing. Picture. And missing one piece. Something, something, oh, it's up to you. Something, something. We'll give you everything but this piece, and that part is up to you to do. Something like that. Oh, very good. I still haven't seen the second ending to that one because I got too emotionally attached to the first one. I hear tell it's not actually as bad as I thought it would be, but I was really scared I was going to break my TV. Oh. This too shall pass, but what the hell? Yeah. There's that going on a lot. That's the part where the puzzle was missing. That's all last one to do. Yeah, but it just kind of, I don't know, if we carry the metaphor to its fullest extent, it just feels like the world going, now it's your turn. I gave you all of this, now you gotta fill it in. I don't know. Horses, too. Fire horse? Horses? Hmm. We've got HR negotiating salaries. We've got me having to stare down something I've been ignoring for a long time. Anything else planned this eclipse season? I know. That's already been kinda wild this year. Yeah. Favorite story as a kid was about a Russian soldier that asked God to be able to put anything in his beret. Granted that and spent his life beating up devils and putting death in it. Interesting. Don't know what that says about me. You want to beat a bunch of devils to death? Revolution. My favorite story of the kid. I didn't really have any one particular favorite story, but I was kind of a little meanie. My aunt who read me bedtime stories a lot of the time. If it wasn't my grandma, it was my aunt, and she has dyslexia. And she would tell me I have trouble reading, or I get tongue twisted and stuff, and I would make her read Fox and Socks by Dr. Seuss. And she would get so tongue twisted. And it was so silly. And like she took it in good nature, right? But I'm just like, I look back and I was like, wow, that was kind of mean, kid. It says a lot of something. Yeah, that's true. Just gotta figure out what that something is. I liked Dr. Seuss a lot though. I'm like, she could have told me no. I would have taken it. But, you know, she liked to read Dr. Seuss to me, and of course I picked the hardest one. Can't think of a favorite movie or a favorite story. But my grandma also read me Trumpeter Swan. And there's a scene where the swans are looking at the boy across the way, and the boy's got binoculars on, like across the lake or whatever. Blonde, I don't remember the details. And Daddy Swan just says, the boy sure has big eyes today. Just kind of reference that at any given time, and I haven't read that book since I was about 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's looking across the pond, and yeah, Daddy Swan's just, the boy's got big eyes today. And I just, to this day, I reference it. So my grandma barely knew how to read, yet she would read to me everything. I mean, bit mean, but I think she enjoyed it. Yeah, obviously, like, I was a soft child. She could have told me no if it really bothered her that much. But, you know, it's a funny little challenge and the kid's getting a kick out of it. I would do something like that too, right? So. Like, you know, I could have taken no as an answer. But I didn't get it, so I was just kind of mean. When Toulouse was little, I don't think Miss May ever noticed, but I'd look at him and go, the boy's got big eyes today.
Oh.
And I was referencing that. Now, I will say I've never been able to read, like, the full version of The Red Badge of Courage because I read an abridged one, like, a little bit too young, and there was one scene, even in the abridged for children story, that was just hard to read, and I was like, I'm never reading the full version of this one after my grandma read that one to me. This is awful, why is this a good book? And, like, I'm sure it's a fine book, but something, the horrors of war, right? But no, thank you. I don't know, this is supposed to be a jade plant, but here we are. Not used to doing backlighting either. But my friend made a song and I got to listen to it, and this was all I could think about. Anderson's a lot too, though. So I was old enough to learn how The Little Mermaid actually goes. I was like, oh my god. Stories and subjects. Yeah. I've got a trumpeter stone, and then literally cassette tapes. My aunt had a big sound system in her garage. And a copy of Pearl Jam's 10 album, and that's... I'd babysit my little brother there. And just go out into the garage and listen to that album. And that really sticks with me. And it ended up being like one of the first albums that I bought. Woof. The original ones, huh? Of my own volition, I would read a lot of Nancy Drew and the Boxcar Children and things like that. I can't remember too much about either of them, but I do remember going and getting them a lot at the library. And then Grandma would read to me a bunch of the classics, and then I had Dr. Seuss for my extremely dyslexic aunt. But with the classics, sometimes they were like abridged versions. I think I got the full... No, I think they were abridged. Huckleberry Finn. Tom Sawyer. Oh, hey Nick! Welcome in, welcome in. I haven't watched any of the videos yet. This week has been, or last week was an absolute disaster. But I will chip away at stuff later. Real quick summary before you leave for stars this week. Today is a full moon that is very big on acknowledging something you've been trying to ignore and being creative. It's head versus heart. Heart has entered the chat kind of vibes. It's the start of eclipse season, and eclipse seasons are basically big fast forwards. And Uranus is going direct in Taurus later on this week. Also Cat today, not Bunny. Hi Cat, yep. Hello! Bunny is Lady Lapine's haunted doll, and the cat is, oh, excuse me, Reanimator's little doll. YouTube was a blessing. At some point we'll have to all, like, just have our disaster videos from our childhood put on. Somehow when I was a kid I thought that music was cumbersome to listen to because we always used cassettes for most stuff and you had to always rewind them and stuff. So I grew up thinking it was hard to music. Yeah, that's fair. I really like the quality and stuff of records nowadays, now that I'm older, but it is a little bit tedious to cassettes didn't really bother me too much, or at least not at the time, although I guess they kind of have the same problem, but records. I really like records, but it is very hard to like have to flip the record or change the record out every like 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm like, I really like everybody's like, oh, the audio quality is so much better, and da-da-da-da, and I can hear all of that, and I enjoy it, and it feels very nice to like actively own your music and stuff, but I can also just go on YouTube or go on Spotify and just play the whole album and not have to worry about flipping anything. It makes, but on the flip side to that, right, like, flip side, get it, records, it makes you like have to like very actively listen to the music, and I think that's nice. I had an MP3 player on long walks. Yeah, once I was about 12-ish, I got an iPod. Back before Apple went completely insane, right? And it was a lot of fun, and I miss it, and I miss owning my own music, and I miss, you know, all of that, like, just the tangible, you own it actually after you buy it, instead of you just renting it eternally. Really want to try to get back into that at some point this year. It's just a lot. But it is definitely on the docket. How did you survive the week, Nick, with the pressure cooker and everything? Did you come out fairly unscathed? Or did stuff happen? I was fairly at peace with what happened, but there was a fair amount that happened to me, and then a fair amount that I just kind of had to, like, outside looking in watch happen. And it was a little bit of a mess. It was not an unforeseen mess, which is nice, now that I'm keeping up with it. Like, I kind of, like, expected it all, or when it happened, I was like, well, that makes sense. But sail the 7 seas. Yep, you take care, Nick. We'll talk to you later. They'll get your own music, you just have to be a pirate. It's not as easy as it used to be sales. Yeah, I do pirate and stuff, but I have like several thousand songs liked on my, I do pirate and stuff, I just admit that out in the open. Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Respite being things for this Aries. Yeah, Aries is coming up on a lot. April, you've got a big stellium happening in your sun sign, so if it was quiet for you, that's good. You need it. But yeah, sailing the 7 seas. I know how to do all of that. That's just a lot of sailing that I have to do. But then I look at Bandcamp and I'm like, I should just buy the stuff from the people that I support and such, and it's just going to add up to like hundreds of dollars if I go that route, which I do want to like legitimately buy things. I don't feel too bad about sailing the seven seas for things that I already own, but it's just that, and like having a place to put it all, like storage wise and stuff. Like I have an external hard drive in the States still, but it's in the States, not here. And then I need like a chip expansion and my phone and da 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 da. It's just convenience, right? It's just lazy inconvenience, and I know that, but anyway. Me and the Seven Seas are fairly familiar with each other, though, at least. Yeah, records and tapes and such make you have to actually like actively sit there and listen to it. It's nice to give support, but it's not always up. Yeah, exactly. I can't just walk into the Walmart and buy a CD all the time anymore and such, and then sometimes it's hard to find, and yeah. For things that like are like smash hits and stuff, I feel a little bit better because I know that they got their money, but yeah. No, I completely agree. And as far as platform where I actually own stuff, pay for something and have my own copy, yeah. Again, I just hit that storage wall. I got my shiny new laptop, but I did not get like the full like terabyte of storage, and then I still have to like get it from point A to point B when I want to listen to it literally anywhere else, and something. It's just me balking at the lack of convenience, right? And I know that. And it's just basically me going, I need to do better, and I know that too. But yeah. It was always really funny to me when Spotify, like back in the day, was like, we have everybody. I was like, no, you don't. I can think of like 3 or 4 people right off the top of my head that you do not have. And then there's a guy that I like to listen to who just started a new band, and I don't think he's even bothering to go on Spotify, and I don't blame him. You shouldn't do it, it's a bad spot, but also I'm like, now how am I going to listen to it? 4 terabytes of storage for my laptop. Buying isn't owning and pirating isn't stealing. For real, I just need to write that on my forehead, basically. 4 terabytes. Golly. Tell me about like what programs you need to even just access those terabytes, because that's a huge storage unit like thing. For a laptop? Fair. We found an external hard drive that I think was like 2 terabytes a long time ago, but May and I couldn't figure out how to access it. I think we needed a whole new program to get into it, and we just didn't have the time, because that was also around the time that we were getting ready to move and stuff. I just gotta figure out, like, how to make that portable. More so than just a laptop. Like, what if I'm on the bus and I want to listen to music? What do I do then? I guess it's an iPod, but then I have to spend money on an iPod. And I know it's like $5 now.
$5, yeah.
Look, I know all of this.
You know you're irrational?
I know it's irrational.
Okay.
I also just... I don't want to be like this. I need to be better. But also I have a rhythm and it's hard to change. I have a routine and I'm mad that people are making it harder and less ethical to stick to my routine. At least so far as music goes. No, I know. Hey, how you doing, Harry? How's it going? What's up? You survived the astrological pressure cooker that was last week? Obviously you did since you're here, but you have any struggles? Particularly around Tuesday to Thursday? I sure do know, Doji. And once, whatever it is that is the trigger makes me do it, it will be done in a day. Whatever it is. Right? Once I finally get pushed to whatever that limit is, it will happen. I have not hit to that limit yet, even though I know. So what does everybody need to work on for this eclipse season? What's about to get fast forwarded? Let's talk about it. Anybody want to share with the class what that decision is that they've been putting off that they know they need to do? Cause ooh-wee, I sure did tell Saturn, like, hey, if you do this thing, I'll do it. That's fine, I guess. I don't want to, but I'll do it. And then, sure as hecky he goes, okay, bet. You know, you don't have to drag me out back right now. I mean, as the price is skyrocketing, streamers should get really bold with how they treat its users. Yeah, no, you're right. That's what's getting to me too. Like, it has been getting to me for a very long time. And like, that's what made me like snap and we left the US and stuff like that, just because I was just like, I'm sick of this, get off of me, go away. And I'm getting to that point with these things, but I'm just... It's hard. I just want to be able to be a crazy, crazy old person who lives up in the woods, who is just completely self-sufficient and doesn't need anybody or anything. I don't want to, no, go away, I can do it myself. But I can't. I'd have to be. What do you need to do for the moon? Throw a bottle of water out back. Make yourself some moon water, I guess. You like to make moon water? Oh, what do you need to do for the moon? Yeah. What do you need to do for the moon? Is there anything you've been ignoring? Let's talk about it. Did y'all have an epiphany around July? I sure did. And I sure did try to ignore it, and then Saturn went retrograde a little bit after that, or around that window, and I was like pulling my teeth out over whatever it was that I was ignoring, and 10th house career stuff I've been ignoring and putting off and delaying and breaking myself from the illusions of, and like I had been working on it, but especially since 2018, like I know what I need to do, but I don't even want to say it. I also want to be self-sufficient, but not without things like medicine or education, not without needing inconvenience, especially. Yeah, there's stuff of that, like Lady Lapine was really bad about that. I am less upset about the inconvenience matter because I am of a mind that I am inconvenienced and thereby I can also be inconvenienced, and also like I didn't ask to be born, so it's okay to not be completely self-reliant. But on the very Nick Offerman in Parks and Rec kind of attitude, I also just want to be completely self-sufficient because I don't want to deal with anybody. What is his name in Parks and Rec? Ron Swanson. I have a very like grumpy Ron Swanson streak, and I just want everybody to leave me alone, and I don't want to be obligated to anybody, and so on and so forth. I obviously also don't want to be an inconvenience, but it's less. Like, there is a streak of that, but it is less that than it is for Miss May and Lady Lapine. I want to be able to go out and chop wood and be self-reliant and go live in a cabin and be left alone and not have to deal with anybody and. But at this rate, I would be able to go out and chop wood and not be with anybody and then have to come down once a month to the pharmacy and pick up some medicines and go back, and no. And besides, I like cities, but still. You know what you need to do, but you don't even want to say it. That's fair. For me, it's a lot of the job stuff. Fabricators like those in Star Trek, that would be cool. Like, yeah. Just make my thyroid medicines for me. Computer, make my thyroid medicines. That'd be cool. Maybe this is stirring up a lot of career-oriented stuff. And I'm really having to revisit a lot of things about career, and I have been for a while. In Saturn in retrograde, I was having to do something, and I was just like, I realized how much I didn't want to be doing it, like to what extent right then. Just straight up had a bad time. It's like, oh, this is not sustainable anymore, is it? And it's just been me trying to wrestle with that for a while since then. And that was Yeah, right around the end of July, and whenever it was that Saturn went retrograde and stuff, I ended up with a big project, and I hate this now, actually. And then, well, what do you want to do? And so I want to go back into art and do things creatively. And, you know, all of the stuff that I was told would lead me to be a starving artist. Do you remember all of that? I want to do that. And it's like, well, I guess you got to get ready to be a starving artist then. But I feel like at this point, honestly, like my big goal, like my big learning point from Uranus from 2018 to now is basically like, as a millennial, I got raised to believe, right, that doing your own thing was a big risk and something, and you could get stability from a job and so on and so forth. And I have learned since 2018 that that is not the case. Right, like there is no stability in working for any specific company, at least not anymore. It's just been kind of like managing and dealing with that, and also like, oh, if I have a job that's easy for me, then maybe I can do all of my stuff on the side. No, it's easy, but it's also very mentally draining, and I need my mental faculties to be able to do what I want to do, right? So it's been a lot of those kinds of hard things to swallow over and over and over again. So on the one hand, I'm worried about this next chapter, but on the other hand, like, good riddance, I'm tired of having to learn these lessons kind of things. Driver's license, though, huh? I like to drive, but I know I'm kind of an odd one out on that. I don't have my license down here, though, but I am working on it. I don't think I'd get a car or anything, but it'd be handy to have in case of an emergency or something, or if I need to, like, just to hop in a car and borrow someone's car and just hop in and go and stuff. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, though. I didn't have a choice but to get my license. Yeah, exactly. I get told that it's gonna be stable, and then it's not, and it's like, well... And then it's a wild time when starting your own thing feels more stable than working for somebody else, but here we are. My aunt who worked at one place longest, she was there for 30 years, I think, and she had to, well, she didn't have to, but she chose to get a new job a few hours away from where I grew up. That was a big signal that things are not the same as they used to be, right? Something be said about how we endure regardless of what the next. Yeah, definitely. But it's just, yeah, wild that how much of what I got told growing up, how much of what we got told growing up has just been proven so wildly incorrect. It's like, well, I gave up a lot of things to try to do this, and this is how it's shaping up, and this isn't what I asked for, and this isn't what I was told was going to happen. So I may as well try to do what I want, but it's scary though. If anybody Guess on that token, if anybody knows anybody that needs any help with writing or editing or art or anything like that, like traditional stuff, Miss May can do digital stuff. She has a VGen, but I am also available for commissions. Happy to talk about stars, but this is more just a hobbyist kind of thing. Jobs don't even guarantee it. No, they don't. They absolutely don't. And that's, you know, like, I don't know, it was the phrase I got. It's like, I got born at the end of the fuck around generation, like the fuck around century, and I get to experience most of my life in the find out century, and I'm not having a good time right now. Break walls with your head. I've broken many walls. I will keep doing that to the point where it's just normal now. Yeah. Definitely. I'm extremely stubborn. I have made a lot of changes. And I have been feeling compelled to make a lot of changes, but there's a few things like the Spotify and the job situation and stuff that I was like, just a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. You know, I'm getting a cake commission. Maybe I haven't heard about it since I brought it up, so we'll see. Not every door that's locked goes a lot pushed in a way. It's sad, but it's also one of the features. I'm forgetting to know that you can break it as you. Yeah. Yeah. And again, yeah, this with me getting more in depth into the stars and stuff has been like really reassuring, because it's like I don't know what's going on and before, and I was like, well, actually kind of maybe I do. Maybe I am supposed to be doing this right now. Which is a wild thing for my hyper-logical, hyper-realistic, overly intellectual self to be thinking. Like, actually, no, I kind of saw this coming. Actually, no, there's a reason that this is happening. And it's leading to this, and I have the picture, but I sure don't have the instructions, and I'm having to wing it. And I'm not super thrilled about that part, but at least I have the picture and I know that this is what I want. Oh, I guess I do, huh? Okay. Cool. I have a cake commission. Hooray! I had a stint for a few years as a baker and a head chef. Not a head chef, a head baker, kitchen manager, kind of inventory manager, and I did cake decoration and stuff with it. It was a lot of fun. I missed it a lot, but that place just kind of got insufferable to work at after a certain point. I had to leave, and that was 2018 when everything started kind of flipping itself around, and I guess that was around the time that Uranus went to Taurus. Yeah, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. But you also, immovable object, something to get the ball rolling. It's hard, right? And so I've made I've made so many little like huge changes honestly over the last year that it's just like, can I please just have one thing for this one more year? Can I just do this thing that I don't want to do, but it'll be easy and I can take care of it, and that gives time for Lady Lapine to get her business up off the ground without us having to worry about it, and so on and so forth. And yes, I know that this is exactly impacting my career house, but can we do it next year, not right now? And Saturn was just like, haha, nope. So I'm just financial stability to be assured by HR. After that, I'm gonna commission you for it. Yeah, that's fine. I'd love to do that. I'm much more well-spoken over writing than I am over words, though I am getting better since we've been doing this, but it's not great. Learn that you have to practice finishing things, practice winning, practice breaking those walls to teach yourself that you can and that it won't hurt you. Yeah, I already upheaved so much. There you go, yeah, you can just have the astrologer have a minor meltdown over YouTube. That'll be what gets me noticed. Is me just looking at the stars and going, do I have to? Why? You can't make me. And then Saturn like laughing and going, but I can actually. But I'm hoping that things will get a lot more obvious once he's shuffled off into Aries. Our audio quality is much worse than I thought it was. I put that on the to-do list. Is it? I don't know. It sounds fine to me, but I don't really listen for quality. I just make sure I can understand things and see it. You have to, because it's what you... I know. I know. But I wanted to start it later, which is what I always say, is I want to start it later. And I know that that's the problem, but... But, damn it. That's kind of been my whole thought process since all of this has been coming to light, is, but damn it! No, not like this. Make it easy. Like, well, it won't make it easy for you to do it. Later never comes. I know. Thanks, Mom. It's never perfect. I have to find the line of the sand. I have to... I know. Ducks are never going to be fully in a row, etc., etc. I have learned. And with it, I've had to have my hand forced several times by the stars. A different brush that's teeny tiny. This is the tiniest brush I think I can see right now, but how am I gonna do this without release? Ah! Me? It's the same color. Comfort is both welcoming and a shackle. Yeah, I'm guessing that once my hand is completely fully forced, it's like, well, I got nothing to hang on to, so... And that's been kind of the whole thing about Uranus and Gemini, I think. It's like, this is not what you think it is. You think it will lead to stability, but it will not anymore. And there's been a lot of that. So in 2018, I left the job at the bakery. I ended up being unemployed, and I was like, surely corporate work will save me, and then it nearly ate me alive. And here I am, going, don't be like me, folks. Anyway. I hope that HR gives you some welcome financial stability news. I've talked about it before, but a sales position gave me the inability to eat tomatoes. So what does that mean? Just as big as the money earned. Yeah, that's the one. And at what point is it not worth it anymore? They got me out of a hole and now it's time to be done, and I know that, but it sucks. For this one, since it's a personal, I'm not quite as confident as I have been with other things historically about leaving it completely without line art. So right now I'm just kind of going over and re-adding some line art. Something artistic. Something, I don't know. Do you not eat tomatoes at all, or is it just a raw tomato thing? Because I don't eat raw tomatoes. But I will eat, like, a salsa or something. And it was always wild to me as far as that, because, like, the corporate job that I have that is, like, the root cause of this crisis has never been that difficult, but I've always been, like, so scared because I keep seeing the shoe drop for so many other people that I've just always, like, I've never been able to progress. Oh, dang. That's a lot. Just thinking that maybe you had to eat so many tomatoes for whatever this part of your job was that you just made yourself sick of them. 1,096 tomatoes. There's 8 tomatoes for some reason. Oh, wow. Yeah. It might change. I noticed for me that after I left the States, there were some things that I was sick of that I can suddenly, like, tolerate again. I had a big unemployment stint right around 2018 and into 2019. And I never really got big into peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so I would want one like once or twice a year. But for some reason that like became my comfort food during this unemployed stint. And yeah, I got that became my comfort food, and I'd eat it for like dessert for like 3 or 4 months straight, and I was never the biggest fan of peanut butter anyway, but it got to the point where I basically couldn't eat it unless it was like in a Reese's or something. And since I've been here, it's gotten a lot easier. Tomato sales are falling. Quick, eat more tomatoes. Show them that it's good. Show them that it's worth it. You have to prove it. Straight up. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Stress is a monster. And like, I get it, it's a survival response, but like, at some point you just have to be like, this is how society works though, and I know it's not right, but I need to keep going, and then your body's just like, absolutely not. Alright, so disregarding the rest of— how does she look though? Like, I need to finish— let me get the light. I'm gonna get the flashlight to make it a little better. I need some input on the girl specifically though, not the rest of it. So she's a little bit backlit. But she's in front of a window, right? Does she look like I can call her nearly done? Like, I need to work on the watch some more, like, as far as she goes. Is there anything apparent that I need to work on? Holding an aloe vera plant. The song's name is Succulent Girl. As in, like, succulent the plant's not a delicious girl. I had a defective meat too. Where do I find a plant? God. I mean, you can try shaking your fist at the sky. I find that it doesn't do too terribly much, but like, it feels better after you're done. Or it doesn't, but at least you're tired and you can just go to bed. If it is a glass, it should have some reflection, at least in the color. Yeah, she's standing behind the window, or in front of the window, so I don't know. Like, this back blue scene right here's the window, so she's backlit, right? And I don't do much with backlit. Not really a reflection so much, it's just, yeah, where the lighting is hitting her, which is why she's shaded in the way she is. It does a better message, yeah. One of my favorite astrologers was just like, you know, you can be mad at the spirits and the powers that be, right? They sometimes like it when you push back on them a little bit because it means you're like standing up for yourself. And I was just like, oh, really? So every now and again I'll just have a word. I have several right now, but we'll see where it's going. To 2019, 2020 vibe. What about it specifically? I'm so curious. Like the hipster scene or something else? That was kind of what he was implying when he was like describing what kind of vibe he was looking for. A little folksy kind of 2017 music situation. And it's not really a commission, I volunteered to do this one. but he's a good friend of mine, and we lost touch for a while because he was also going through it, so I only recently got back in touch with him, so I was just like, this'll be a good birthday present from last year. Colors, plants, overall. Yeah, I was listening to the song. It was giving me like the hipster vibe. Get backlit. Say that it's take phone camera to see color and reflection. Okay. More light around the person. Okay. Yeah, I can add some brighter pieces. I haven't really tried backlit stuff before, but I had such just like the clearest image in my head. I was like, I need to at least give it a shot. He's liked it so far, but... around the person to diffuse the background. That's fine. Yeah, I need to work on the background. I haven't even started. I just kind of put blue there and like the impression of a cactus, and I was like, that's good. That's fine for now. Suggestion of the cactus 2026. Belongs in the Louvre. Really been like trying to work on colors and shading, so I feel like it is good for me to like try to branch out with this though. Again, I went from like 10 years of never doing anything with any color ever. And it's only pencil sketches and it's only not finished stuff to finally be able to be like, well, it's been pretty big for me. Any star questions for me? Are we talking? Any deeply invasive personal questions for me? I don't know. Something. Any philosophical things we want to talk about, like our vampiric birth charts? Oh, they're still blue. What's my favorite vampire? See, I'm trash, right? So like, I like any and all vampires, please give it to me, but I grew up on the Anne Rice vampires. So, good old Lestat and Louis and them are my favorite. Now, I do have a few bones to pick with Anne Rice about some of it, because I think Lestat is entirely too OP and very much like Mary Sue before Mary Sues were a thing. But like, I like Dracula, but I need him to be hotter, and I need more homoerotic tension, personally. Yeah, so I grew up with the 1994 Interview with a Vampire with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. I probably saw it way too young, to be honest, and it just kind of ruined me for him. Like any other vampire. I do like other vampires, though, plenty. Like, just any kind of vampire media. Back when I was 13, like barely 13, I think, Trinity Blood came out. And that one really, like, shaped who I am as a vampire aficionado, too. There's a lot to be frustrated with about Trinity Blood after the author died. They really didn't do it too much justice, and that was also when Funimation was falling apart, or Tokyo Pop was falling apart. So it didn't get quite the love that it deserved, and also, like, it got fireflied a little bit. It's a light novel series, or it started as a light novel series, and when it was getting translated, it came out of order. But doing a bit, oh, that's exciting. Alucard from Hellsing. I mean, that's a good pick. I like Castlevania Alucard too. But yeah, as far as like vampire lore and vampire rules and regulations and whatnot, I like Anne Rice's stuff a lot. My favorite vampire full stop is Armand from Anne Rice's stuff. Like, single solitary favorite vampire is Armand. But vampire as a lore concept is a little more, ooh, out in the air, right? And I grew up with the 1994 movie, and I got so mad when I realized how different Antonio Banderas is from the book description of Armand after everything else about it was so by the book. Have you read Carmilla? Yes, I have. It was very good. I need to go back and reread it, honestly. Maybe I'll do that once March hits. Huge fan. I know I liked it a lot. We bought a beautiful copy of it before we moved. It is now in a box in storage. We also bought it in Spanish, so maybe that'd be some good Spanish practice for me. So that one is here. But yeah, I like Camilla a lot. That's a good pick. Bob Ross's mountain painting instructions don't work quite as well in watercolor as they do in oil. Oh, it's a good read. You should. Yes. Yes. Also, has anybody seen, like, and read Frankenstein, but, like, also Del Toro's movie that came out in 2025 last year? I had no idea how much I needed Frankenstein to be a Mexican telenovela until I watched it, and I was like, heck yeah. But I love Del Toro anyway. Kind of across the board. Mm-hmm. That was really sweet too. He made a lot of like references to old interpretations of Frankenstein too, or at least Frankenstein's Bride with Mia Goth. I feel like Victor himself should have been a little bit younger, but like that was like my biggest nitpick. It felt like very much to me, and I'm absolutely putting my life onto the monsters. But it always felt to me like a youth making an irresponsible decision and then being like, what the hell did I do, and leaving. Again, because personal life and me associating with the monster, but you know, it just sounds like he was just out of college, etc., etc., but I also understand the medical school takes a long, long time. My last encounter with Frankenstein was when I was watching Penny Dreadful. You should watch the new movie. It's really good. Victor in my head was a little bit younger, and then two, spoiler alerts, but I was a little bit like disappointed in the last like 30 seconds of the movie. But otherwise it was very good and very true to the book. Except like he did take a few liberties, but yeah, it was very fun. I wish there's not like he had a love interest that wasn't included too, but overall very good. And I'm glad I saw it. And by he had a love interest, I mean Victor, specifically, not the monster. Going to watch, I guess to go back to vampires for a minute, I'm going to watch Sinners for the first time later today. I've been wanting to watch it since basically it came out, but I haven't been quite able to yet to like bring myself to do it without like friends, because I hear tell it's a bit of a spiritual existence for people from that part of the world, or like part of the US, and I am from exactly that part in the US, so just haven't been able to quite do it yet. But we've got some, I wanted to do it with people who would get it from that area, and I was going to watch it with a friend of mine who is basically from the same exact area, but she's very hard to get a hold of when it's not in person, so. I've got another friend who's from Alabama who lives down here, and I was like, that's close enough, you'll get it. Come watch it with me. I believe that's happening later today, unless something changes. I'm excited, but also just, yeah, I hear tell it's a bit of a spiritual existence. I'm like, oh boy, experience. And I keep having people like down here that I meet that are from a very similar area, but not quite exactly where, and they just keep trying to be like, oh yeah, it's like here. And I'm just, no, it's not quite the same. But I appreciate the enthusiasm. Okay, the stars a lot faster than I thought we would. So we were talking about it late last time. With all my notes, I was like, oh boy, this is a 4-hour conversation, but no, here we are. So quiet today, sorry, I didn't sleep super well. I think we got to bed at around 2. And I woke up at 7:30, but I also woke up at 3 and 4:30 and 6 and 6:45 and 7, and you know how that goes. I was like, I don't know, what do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to do? Anybody want to do anything? What's going on? You know. Tell me about a movie you watch. Let's talk about, I don't know, you got any Star Wars? Yeah. You get the idea. Restlessness. No, I didn't sleep. Not particularly well, no. Like, I had to sleep because I do remember jumping up awake terrified several times, right? But... melatonin gummies. Yeah, they work, but what I need is, what I desperately need are, is a septum that isn't nearly so, what is that called? When it's crooked. Septum deviated. Sometimes I have a hard time breathing, which is what made it so hard to go to sleep last night. And then it clears up and I'm fine, but that's like as I'm sleeping. Once I don't know how it works. It's weird. It started a few years ago and I thought I was like suffocating. I'm not suffocating, I'm actually fine, but it's alright. It sounds like y'all haven't been sleeping super great, so I'm glad you got to. Thank you. Yeah, I was just thinking like, oh, I'm actually kind of proud with how this guy's turning out. Oh. That's weird. I hate doing backgrounds. It's been very funny because, like, I noticed during my stint of not finishing anything and not coloring anything in and not doing this and not doing that and just kind of doing all of my sketch focus and such, that I was still, like, paying attention to things really, really closely, and, like, if something came up, even if it wasn't quite my forte, I'd still pay attention to it. And be like, well, I don't know if I need this reference, and it's been working out. And one of the pro tips that I got was, if it is in the background, then whatever the main color of the background is. So for instance, like, the sky is blue. That will be in your background. It will be in the images in your background. Like, it will color, the blue of the sky will color the mountain. Oh, okay. No, I don't need it, but here I am needing it. And then when I get too down, sometimes I'll watch Bob Ross color in some happy little trees, and he'll be talking about some color theory thing, and I'm like, oh, that's neat. I need to figure out what I want to do for this part of the background, the lower part, where it's like a garden kind of thing. I think it needs to come down a little bit here, but I need to make it obvious that he has a yard and stuff. I don't know yet. Oliver? Oh, thank you! We're a little bit quiet today because we've gone over most of the stars, but the short thing is that eclipse season starts today. There's a full moon in Leo, and it's about kind of embracing the change that you already knew you need to make. You've had your head dominating things and trying to make things make sense, and now it's time for the heart to enter the... So we're a little bit quiet now because I've already gone through it all, but I'm working, today's piece is going to be like a singles cover for a little musician friend of mine. I owe him a birthday present. And the song that inspired me was called Succulent Girl, not like Delicious Girl, but like the plant. Actually has a big collection of succulents, that kind of girl. And I said, do you want me to do the art? And he said, I don't want to deal with the album, so yes, you go ahead, or the album cover, so yes, go ahead. I owed him a birthday present. I'm gonna try to get it done this week, so that he doesn't have to keep waiting, because he already released one of the singles Thursday, I think. I'm just kinda... But we only reconnected a little while ago, so... little quiet because things have gotten... I don't know, I just didn't sleep well last night. But at least you get something to watch. We're open to talking. I need to fill in like a record player here, and then I want to put a guitar, and there needs to be like more albums or books or something on the shelf underneath it. Just kind of dragging my feet on it. A cannibal or a floral enthusiast, exactly. See, in my head, the first thing when I saw the title, I didn't even think about the second meaning. I was just like, ah, yes, plants, that's what this means. And then Miss May was like, is the girl delicious? What does this mean? And I just, oh, no, it's plants. Oh. It's very funny. I have some auditory processing issues when it comes to lyrics in a song or things with like a lot of background noise, not like music does with lyrics and what have you. So I think if I heard the words right, it's about him getting a bit of a crush on a girl that keeps up with a lot of plants, and he didn't mean to, but it's so cute. One doesn't exclude the other. That's true. That's true. You're so right, son. I still haven't really worked on, I need to work on the Coffee's Brewing picture for my own stream, but I want to get this done sooner rather than later, so I decided that we'd work on this one instead today. Trying to figure out what the foreground needs to be. Like, there's a cactus here, right? But then, like, what's over here? I guess I could, like, put the suggestion of some shrubs. I don't know. What do we think? Yeah, anybody have any input? So I've got the background right, but the foregrounded background. I can make it like more cacti. I guess I could do like one of these types of cacti or something, just make it more cactuses. cacti, just put them in the background, like outside. I don't know, man. I didn't grow up in a desert biome. How does this work? Pretty sure nobody in the group right now grew up in a desert biome, so we'll all just get to flounder together as I keep going. Unless somebody did, in which case please enlighten me. What was that like? Yeah, wrong crowd, I figured. I only figured it out recently, but it turns out I grew up in a subtropical climate. Not quite tropical, but certainly not temperate. So I got off the plane down here in the middle of January when it's peak summer, and I went, oh, I know this weather, because it too is subtropical here. What do you mean it rains as many times as you can count on your fingers? No, I need so much more rain than that. And then at least it's a dry heat, but so too is an oven. Oh, the groceries need you. That's fine. I'm wrapping up here pretty soon anyway. Have a good afternoon, evening, and I will talk to you later. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. Your presence is required. Make sure those groceries appreciate what you've done for them and the sacrifices that you've made. Ah, there. I mean, to be honest, I struggle going places by myself sometimes too. Figure out how I feel about these little sunflowers. I feel like they're missing something, but I can't quite tell what. Like, I need to work on the base more, definitely. What else I need to do today? I don't remember. Oh, right, we're gonna go see Centers later with a friend. Friends? Friends. Plural. Or they'll be here. I don't know if we're gonna have it here. If I already have the movie downloaded here, or if we're gonna go over to their house. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Alrighty. Well, we're coming up on time, and I need to get up and go take care of something real quick, so I may as well just wrap it up here for now instead of walking away, just end it in a bit. I'll be around for most of the day, so for those of y'all who know me personally, holler if you need me. Thank you for sitting with me in more or less silence while I colored in some of this, and thank you for sitting with me through the stars. I'll make up a post about what's going on either today or tomorrow. We'll find out, won't we? And then if you have any questions, yeah, the link to the Discord is in the top chat comment here in the group, and you can ask me there. Or if you come over to one of Lady Lapine streams later with Miss May, I'll be in the chat. Y'all can message me there too. So, take care of yourselves, stay out of trouble. You can be in trouble, but don't get caught, or you can do trouble, but don't get caught. And I will talk to y'all later. Ciao.